Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of Your Best Podcast. My name is Gina, and I'm the host. I hope you're having a great week. It's been humid as hell here, but we are making it through one sweaty nose at a time, so hope you're more comfortable than we've been. My guest today is someone who I have not seen in a long time, but I'm really excited to catch up with him. We had so much fun when we were in school together, and he's got a great sense of humor. So welcome, Dan.
Thank you so much for having me on. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I've been a little stressed because of the home, but
Yes.
other than that, excuse me.
It's okay.
Other than that, everything's been going good. Sometimes it's, interesting how life turns out. It's a little surreal and fun, and you just gotta keep walking that little tightrope.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's been good.
Being an adult's weird.
It's super weird. Especially for like me and like maybe even like us, and thinking about like how we all acted, and maybe everyone probably goes through this. So what am I talking about?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I am a different person from like 15, 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
But you think you know everything in that time too, and then you get to be an adult and you're like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, and we saw. I even think like you and I feel like a lot of us. I feel like our grade. That was one of the things I did initially want to talk about, was how unique our grade was in so many ways. And I know that you've touched on it here and there, but like there was no beefs.
Yeah,
I mean, it was unique to say the least. So.
We had a great time.
We did.
We really did. I actually talked about that a couple of years ago with one of my friends. We're like, we didn't have any like major fights ever.
Nope.
Like the security guards never had to break anybody
We had great security guard. I think we just had people that were, back to our conversation from a little bit before, was like, what I wanted to say was like, we were a little bit more cynical, more aware of like, this is what life is. We kind of knew what adulthood was going to be. We weren't sure because, like, I don't know. It's unique to think about.
Yeah. Last time I saw you, we were going to Southern together.
Yes.
And you were going for criminal justice, so...
I had wanted to pick that.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah. I guess I feel like I'm like a George Costanza with it, I'm sure at one point I wanted to be a marine biologist, but, criminal justice, sure. And
throw it on there.
And the further I got into it, the further I disagreed with a lot of the things in the criminal justice system. So
of course
I couldn't with good conscience, go and be anything.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that aspect.
Yeah. I'll finish my Southern story. We had a great time, or my Southern timeline. We had a great time. I had, because you didn't live there though.
No, I was actually only there for a year. And then my dad was like, no, you can't.
I remember you visited us sometimes.
Yeah. My dad's like, no, you can't live there. Like my first semester, I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I have to commute. And then like the second semester came, he's like, oh, you can live there now. And I'm like, it like ruined the whole, like, no, who do I know now? What am I just going to come in randomly halfway through the year?
Our parents, did our parents just impose random rules because they wanted?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
legit what it was.
That's a lot of our parents. I could think of 20 different parents and 20 different quirks that they had that they thought was gonna, make their kid toe the line. And anyway.
You'd rather have me commute, driving through all these towns, driving through New Haven, getting to my car, walking like miles to my car, on the Southern campus.
Dangerous.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, really? Okay, cool. But like,
Yeah. I mean, again, I had an absolute blast, and I've come to grips with, I've paid $50,000 for a good time for 4 years. I mean, even though the end was kind of just tying up your official things, but I graduated with sociology, just like
cool.
Our friend James.
Cool.
So we finished out sociology, and we did what many people do right after you graduate. You go, what do you do with this soft science degree? This very soft science degree.
Am I just gonna like go to Africa and learn?
I wanted the actual logistics of it, which was, how could I become a person that does research? Qualitative or quantitative. Qualitative being more story-esque, text-based. and quantitative being math, like numbers and statistics and whatnot. And I was prepared to do either. But as we all know, if your college doesn't specify in that and have funding going to it, you're not getting a job in that. You're just not going to.
Right.
So I worked at Big Y in the produce and deli department. Produce was good, though, for a while. And I started to, because of Wes Bartosik in our grade, his mother worked at the Board of Ed in Monroe. And he was like, why don't you go sub? And
cool.
I was like, what's the requirements? He was like, 120 credits. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I did that for I did that for a long time until I realized I had to think, I'm not getting any money. What's my future?
Yeah.
And I went real minimalist. I said, when I'm about to die, I want to look back on the rest of my life and at the very least not feel like I worked for a company or was like a piece of garbage for some company just getting numbers. Because I worked for Blockbuster when I was...
Oh my God, yes.
I worked for Blockbuster. and what instilled that in me was everything was sales. You got to push those numbers, those sales.
Right.
And to me, it's I disagree with... I think we're far enough with humanity and knowledge and things like that where that is unnecessary. If you have a good product that sells, like... WD-40's doing just fine. I mean, so it's like...
Very true. Very true. And I worked at banks, and that was one aspect. I was like, I feel like I'm going to kill myself if I stay here. So
Mario Lopez worked at a bank, too. That was pain.
Dude. It's just like, how do you sell something that nobody needs?
And then you could say the same for the education I was just talking about.
Right.
I mean, just to tie it all together.
So you were subbing for a while. That must have been something. Where were you subbing? In Monroe?
I actually subbed in many different districts. But ultimately, what it came down to is I loved subbing. I loved being a paraprofessional.
Oh, cool.
And that was when I got that spark of I'm working so hard because I care so much.
Right.
And it's entertaining because, I'm doing something that's just right before I actually had gotten the sub job, I worked for my mother's company, Pitney Bowes, which was just testing pieces of mail going through a machine.
Oh.
So thousands of pieces of mail.
Talk about mind numbing.
Right.
Oh my God.
Which actually I wouldn't even mind, but
yeah.
They let us have music in, but only one earbud.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, as someone who loves music, I put my second one in so many times. They're like, this kid just doesn't want to listen to us. We're going to have to let you go. Sorry, Tracy, who's worked here for 40 years, my mother.
Sorry.
You got to get out of here, kid.
But also, like, what do you want me to do? No.
So,
not at all.
So
you were sorting the mail, in a sense.
Sorting the mail.
And you were subbing.
And so, correct. So that, thank you. That was a good way to...
That's fine.
You're a good threader. Maybe you were born for this. So that made me want to have a little more something to do. So when I became a paraprofessional, I liked it. But you're doing such a hard job, and you care about it. You want to get compensated for it to make a life for yourself. And people have a hard time, I noticed, separating work from their personal lives. And there are times when it should intertwine, and there are times when it does. But you still have to, like... Point being, I saw that I wanted to do this job, and I cared about it. And it wasn't just about money or finances, but it was about being that adult that can take care of himself.
Yeah.
Not in any selfish way, but just genuinely, like, I need a job that I can be a normal person.
But it sounds like you were also fulfilled.
Right.
In a spiritual sense, because like you had a passion for it once you started doing it, and that supersedes any type of money you're getting.
Because you know me, and you know I'm silly, whatever, funny.
Yeah.
But the point is, when it comes down to, even someone like me, what am I gonna do with a little kid? Am I gonna hurt him? Am I gonna do any wrong? Of course not. I'm going to try really hard to meet this person's goals and objectives.
Right.
And if I could focus on that, I'm not only doing something for somebody else, but I'm passing my time and I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
And I start to enjoy it over time. And that's how I kind of got into it.
Do you need to have any, like, what's the criteria for being a paraprofessional?
So paraprofessional, actually, I fell into that because it was a long-term sub thing.
Oh.
And then there are tests in which they have to do
You
to
have
stay
to.
proficient, and
Okay.
in certifications for, holding, touching,
Yeah.
for restraints, things like that. There are things like that, and I did those things.
Cool.
And I like that, but it's nothing compared to or maybe I'm just a bad test taker, the rigorous, element, because I then segued into I have to be a teacher now. So what do I have to do to
So
be
you
a
have
teacher?
to get your master's, don't you?
Yeah, because I already have my
Jeez,
undergraduate, so the next
right.
thing has to be master's.
Oh my God.
So,
So did you go to Southern for that too?
I did not.
Where did you go?
I went the ease of Sacred Heart because it had
Oh.
proximity. Their campus was in Trumbull, and I live in Monroe. That's 15
Oh,
minutes.
okay. Yeah, that's better.
So
yeah, that's a lot better.
excuse me. But
Did you enjoy your experience at Sacred Heart? Or-
Yeah, I liked. I had a good time. And ultimately, the teachers there were fantastic, and the staff there were fantastic, and
Cool.
they employed people at the School of Education that genuinely cared and were genuinely masters.
Oh, cool.
So as you get older, you continue to refine your appreciation for masters, people that are masters at their craft.
That's cool.
So I always have an allure to that kind of, masterful nature.
Well, you don't hear that very often, so that's nice that you had a good experience and that you
I
think
did.
so highly of them. You know, so if anybody's looking to go to school,
So and it's hard because financially it's like it's another 10, and even though
dude, I wasn't even gonna ask you, but I know Sacred Heart is up there. So
well, you as when you get into this program, you work for free to pay off the tuition.
Oh.
And you get X amount of dollars towards your tuition
Oh,
in
well.
order to, and it comes close-ish. Now, we're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
talking books. We're not talking gas. We're not talking,
literally your tuition.
but it's like if in the back end it's 13, 8 comes off, that kind of a thing.
Oh.
But I needed, I kind of finagled my way in with sociology. I kind of, because you have to sell to the panel, why they should let you in,
Wow.
And I just needed 2 extra classes. So that's 2 extra classes, 3 credits. Do you know how much a 3-credit class costs in college? I'm just asking.
I mean, like, depends on the college you're going
Correct.
to.
But generally, a rule of thumb, it's around a few $100s a credit, $200, $300, $400
So you're
a
looking
credit.
at like $2,000 a class.
Correct. And so that's where it netted out, and I was willing to take it because that if I did not pivot, then I would not be content, passionate about my craft. I just wouldn't be where I am at all. So
Well, I'm really glad that you found that for yourself because there are people our age that still have no idea what the fuck they want to do in life.
it's not their fault. Let's be honest.
No,
I can get on a soapbox about the boomers all day long, but I'm not gonna.
No, but also the education system. Like one of my other guests, she was talking about like they didn't like set us up properly.
Right.
Like if you wanted to set us up for life, you would tell us to take a personal finance class. You would teach us about like I don't need a whole tax class, but you'd at least tell me about it. You know, you'd tell me about like maybe there's like a therapy type class we could have, a mental wellness class, something like that. They're not setting us up. They weren't setting us up then, and they're not setting kids up now. So it's like
they're trying. They're trying a little bit more. They're putting the financial classes in there.
They
They're
are?
They are putting those classes in there.
Good.
They're trying. It's everything's a mess. Everything's a mess. So it's like to get
everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's in the education or not. Everything.
At this point, I think as an educator, I appreciate any real step in the right direction. So I hope it fares well.
Yeah,
I do.
So you were teaching while you were working it off. You were teaching at Sacred Heart, or you were? Oh, so
I was.
you were working at other schools.
So you do like internships for credits and things like that,
Oh, cool.
and so yeah, you have a good time with that. It's fun. Ultimately, I think it's been a good time, and I'm happy where I am now. I teach in a nice little district. Actually, it's one of the biggest districts in Connecticut, but I think it's one of the best that I've ever been in.
Cool.
And I don't want to name drop, but I'm so happy that that I've gotten the experience there. I love the people I work with, from top down administrators, coaches to the parents. It's a wonderful school district. So,
and you're teaching 4th grade.
I know. I think it's so fun. I think it's the perfect grade between
little kid and middle school, because
right.
you don't have all the hormones just yet. They're like on the cusp.
It's because they can understand you can understand them.
Oh my God.
You understand needs really well at that point. And again, I'm still honing my craft. I'm still trying to be good. Still trying to be do things very well. Like I teach every subject, so it's
right, because you're an elementary school teacher, so you have to know a little bit about everything.
Right. And
but that's also kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, I can tell, but then again, I always wonder, like, what kind of narrative have I been fed? Like, am I actually just, I don't, because I'm going beyond, because you deal with heavy topics in 4th grade. You deal with World War II. You deal with, and everything that's in World War II is so heavy, with so many different cultures over the world, so many different emotions. The stories don't have a happy ending anymore.
Yeah.
As in 3rd grade, where it's a story with a happy ending. In 2nd grade is, this boy runs.
Yeah.
Being extreme, but the point is it becomes heavier, and you have to have that finesse when you explain that to a kid.
Definitely. So. My 4th grade teacher was deaf and in her 70s and horrible. So
that's
I
another
already
thing.
know you're doing a better job.
Well, that's another thing too, because like I feel bad, because like some people love staying in education, and they do to a fault.
Yeah.
But it's also because like there are restrictions on when people can retire. A teacher in most districts, it's 35, 37 years. That's
30, 35, 37?
35 to 30.
Not 25, 27.
No.
Jesus Christ.
So they are pushed a little bit more, and so it makes them have to stay on longer in districts that are more affluent, and people don't know this
You're
stuff.
You're going to be in your 70s by the time you retire. So this is your long-term
and like, my dad's almost in his 70s. He's almost exactly like me. So, I mean, he just won't stop. I mean, they're moving down to Florida soon, and they say, thank God we're moving out. We're going down to Florida. And it's like, in 3 months, you're going to be chomping at the bit to do something, fighting with the HOA, or coming back up here. One of the three. It's just.
And you're going to be real hot.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, but they got central AC in my house, which, thank God for central AC.
It's everywhere down there, but still.
Yeah.
It's going to be completely different for them.
Yeah.
But at least you'll have someplace cool to visit in Florida now. I mean, free place to
I guess.
stay.
My mom always said, you'll miss me when I die. She's that kind of person. And I said to her this past week, I was like, you know what? You're going to miss me.
I think so.
I think so. No one to argue with, no one to fight with.
Seriously.
No one to then appreciate food together,
Oh, you do that with your mom?
Ish. She was I don't know if this is the right word, the progenitor to, my cooking. I love cooking.
Yeah.
So, like, she would cook something, and I'd be like, that's too burnt. I'm going to cook it.
Oh, my God. You jerk.
I know. I am a little bit of a picky prick. But definitely to a fault. Absolutely. And I'll admit that.
Oh my God.
But sometimes it's hard, because everyone has different mental capacities. And it's like, I don't have the capacity to deal with something that I can do myself. I can help you with.
Yeah.
And so, and definitely to a fault.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We all have our things. I'm a little OCD about cleaning.
Yeah. I like my cleaning. I'm happy. I feel like I'm a perfect guy clean. Like, I feel like I'm like the right guy clean, where it's like, I'll not care about stuff, but I'll care about most things. Like, I'm a dishes boy. I'll do those dishes.
Okay, all right.
And I'll vacuum, and I organization and where things are going. And
cool.
My mom would always go like, why don't you pick up your clothes? Because I don't care about this house. I'm moving out in the next 10 years at least. So my clothes can be on the floor.
It's just different priorities. That's really what it is.
I know. Her priorities.
Different priorities for different people. But now you have a new home. So
I do.
you get to have whatever priorities you want.
I know. I love, I said to my friends when I was like actually realizing that the prospect of buying a house was going to work, I said to my friends, I can't wait to pee in my backyard. I was like, just can't wait to do it. I was like, it's so liberating. It's your land, and
I'm gonna piss all over.
Yeah.
No animals are coming over here.
Yeah, and like we just got a dog a year ago. And,
I was gonna ask
and I'm
you
not
about
even
it.
a dog person, but
No?
naturally, like when you have something that you care about and you work on, you love it,
Yeah.
and of course it's cute, and I'm just so, all right, I'm very much like. Barking.
There's the Dan. Like, I was like, I'm really surprised you're a teacher, to be honest with you.
Well, it helps because my energy allows me to manage classrooms very well.
Yeah.
I can snip beef, before it starts. I really like talking with parents. Let me rephrase that. I can talk to parents very well. Get them their needs, understand. I can communicate well.
Yeah.
That's the one skill that I took from my old life and I've brought it into my new life is I can communicate pretty well.
I mean, that's one of the most successful things you can have. That's like a really key trait in a lot of areas because communication is key.
It is.
To everything, to literally everything.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And I'm sure you bring...
And it helps because we have a lot of populations of students coming in from other countries. So to even be able to, just communicate with your hands like the Italian and, it's like they get it.
Yeah.
You don't need words. You don't need words.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. Those are big accomplishments over the years.
Yeah. It's weird because I'm always so nervous that because we know how life works. And I feel like sometimes I look at the movie of my life or read the book of my life, and I'm just always skeptical. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Even I'm not worried about anything. I do my work. I do it. I'm always holding my breath.
Well, that's good though. Like I know it sounds horrible, but like you're real. You're keeping a real perspective on life. You know that everything is not butterflies and rainbows.
Correct.
Legit.
And that's important to know.
It really is. And that's why I say you were telling the kids like, okay, now we're talking about World War II and all these wars, and they don't have good endings, but you have the opportunity to tell them.
Yeah.
You get explain things.
The first time you hear, because the word you hear, like a word like Nazi is so sharp, and us growing up, it was a thing. Mm-hmm. For them growing up, they just don't hear it. No. They don't know what the first time they hear it is out of my mouth in a book.
Right.
And so that is something that you get to nip in the bud so uniquely as a human being to to say, this is what that was at a time. This is what it stood for. And we get the chance to make sure something like that doesn't happen anymore. Right. Or we get, again, you want to let history be known, but let people decide to grow into that positive, way it should be.
That's great.
Maybe it's too, I don't know.
It's not too hopeful because I also with my stepson, he's 10 now. So I met him when he was 3.5. So
unique experience.
I've seen him go through
the phases.
The elementary school system. He's going to be in 6th grade next year. He's going to be in the same school, but technically he's in middle school now, And I've seen some of the work that he's come home with and whatnot, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And it's also kind of cool that they're what do you mean there was a war? What do you mean? Because everything is so calm now compared to what it was, and everything is so technologically advanced. So it's they don't even understand the concept of those harsh things.
The things that make me the most sad are I think this we had great video games and toys. And I loved it. I loved all of it, and me and all my friends, me and James played video games are a big part of my life. I even would say our generation, and the commodification of experience and what social media has done, it's devastating. I can't even. I sometimes lose my breath thinking about it because it's how heavy of a toll it will be. But I just hope me talking with them, giving them that personality will at least wake them up.
A little bit. I know.
Maybe this is my crazy.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get technology till we were in like middle school.
I didn't have a phone until I was 16 years old.
Right.
I think it was the best thing in the world that I get to say. I love it.
My stepson has a phone. He's 10. He just got it for his 10th
hard
birthday.
Because and the legitimate concern is, well, it's safety. And then yes and no. Yes and no. But I tell you what, you got to be steadfast and hard on limiting time. You want to be on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes a night? Sure.
Cool.
Any more than that, games, things like that. I'm not even good. I tell my kids all the time, I'm not even good games anymore. They're like,
do you play Fortnite? Is that your favorite game?
You got Roblox bucks? And my dad bought me Robux, and I go, you bought a skin for $20? Are you gonna like that skin next month? You sure? When you could have gone out and got fun chicken nuggets for 5 days in a row?
You could have gone to Dave and Buster's.
Dude, Time Crisis? What a great game. But yeah. But ultimately, I think and I hope, to tie up the education thing, that everything goes well for them, and I think we're doing a good job. We could be doing better, but I think that, the nation as a whole, or at least Connecticut, we're doing an okay job.
Yeah.
I think we're doing okay.
And I feel like a lot of the people that I know that are teachers and the teachers that I've met, along the way, I think they're doing a good job of keeping it real. I know that sounds so
it's corn.
whatever.
It's corn.
It's so corny, but
I know.
I think everybody's doing a good job.
I don't know many teachers I don't know any teachers. I mean, because I know a few that are in our grade or our age or that I know, and they're not stiff. They got a personality.
Right.
They got a pop to them. They got a style to them. I'm the guy teacher that the kids want to come to. It's like, oh, it's Mr. D. And it's like, you're just saying that because I'm a guy and it's different. And it's like, that's okay though.
That's okay.
That's okay
fine.
though.
I'll
play on that. I'll let it ride. But yeah.
Well, I'm really happy that you found something that you love.
Yeah.
And congrats on all of your accomplishments to get there.
Yeah.
You should appreciate it for yourself. I hope you celebrated yourself along the way, because not too many people do that anymore.
I did celebrate myself along the way, but it was a long road, because I'm not as inept as a lot of people, as my fiance with test taking. I took I went with hopefully she doesn't mind me calling her out.
Yeah.
And she was done and in a school 2 years before I was.
Yeah.
And it's because Dan can't take tests well. And I truly understand the test taking thing for kids, because I never have. I've always done well, but I took the math, so I passed all the English, the science, and the social studies right off the bat. All of it. And then math I took 9 times.
Holy shit.
For $50 each, and the last 3 were $60.
Holy shit.
And then let's not talk about the next test that Connecticut wants some money for, which is called the Foundations of Reading, which is basically a BCBA test minus 2 essays. BCBAs make about $100,000 to start a year, which is a reading specialist ultimately. Not actually, but they're in the same league, let's say, as a veteran reading specialist or a BCBA. BCBAs are really for behaviors.
Okay.
And work in the work in that department. And ultimately, what I'm just trying to say is that test took me 5 times to pass, and that was a $150 test
each time.
4 hours, by the way.
Oh, jeez.
And I got a baby bladder, which when I'm in a good conversation, my baby bladder doesn't turn on. But but when you're taking a test and you're and you've studied for and believe me, I would not lie. I counted one time. I studied 20 hours the week prior.
Jeez.
That's 2 or 3 hours each night.
That's a part-time job.
It was. It was. And it was hard. So when I had passed it all, I almost cried. And
you should have let it all out. You deserve to.
And I was so scared to apply for a job because of the housing market. It's everything was so kind of like it is today. Everything's so touchy, and you might not get a job for a few years. And our generation was one of the first generations to experience that you can do everything right and you still might not get a job for a few years.
Here's my bachelor's degree. Okay, cool. Here's 100 other people with bachelor's degrees. So
Salud.
Seriously.
To a waste of money.
To a waste of money.
But that is
Okay, so to put this into perspective too, I know we're getting a little into the school thing right now, but when I graduated high school and I went to school, I got no funding because my parents made too much money.
Classic.
Which was a lot of my friends at the time for where we lived, whatever.
Absolutely.
I went to school. After I was 26, I went back and forth to school. I just couldn't do it. I wasn't the right time. 2 or 3 years ago, I decided to go back to school. Everything's paid for me. Everything. I literally pay for books now.
Because of the kid? Because of what?
No, because I don't make
the
all
money,
that
money. The money.
Yes.
I was going to say, because everything factors into it. You check a box.
That's it.
You check a box, you got 10 grand off. You check another box, you got 10 grand
That's
off.
what I'm saying. And then when I had her, because it was like I had her after I started, I was talking to the financial aid lady. She's like, oh, you're going to have a baby next month?
Another check.
Oh, well, that's okay. Then you're not going to go to school till the fall, so you're going to have a baby. And I was like, oh, so I literally have school for free now. Yeah. When I would have loved to have it, because that was a part of the reason why I didn't stay in school, is because I was like, I am going to come out of this in so much debt. And I was already 18 and you couldn't tell me anything, in $30,000 of debt with credit cards and private student loans that I took out to have a cool road trip across country.
How was that?
It was really cool.
Okay,
but like,
cool. I hear I've seen and I hear it's a little boring, but kind of cool.
It depends on what you do, man.
I'm not a driving guy. I would follow the diners, drive-ins, and dives map. Actually, that's what I would do. And I've told friends, like, if you're going, go to that website. You could.
Well, like, those were my party years too, and also I love driving, so that was like my thing.
I do not.
Okay, well, to each his own. So I didn't
like
mind
it. Now it's not bad.
Yeah. Now I'm more along the lines of like, okay, I need to go back to the desert. I need to like look at those mountains again. Cheers to your house.
Salud. Thank you so much.
Cheers to your house. But I also know that you're in a band. You're in a metal band. And although I don't listen to metal music, I still appreciate any type of musical artist. So.
I grew up knowing that everybody did not like it, and everybody made fun of it. Like, and I could tell you, and everybody who's going to listen that listens to metal can't baby killing music, scream, and it's like
screamo,
and it's like if you actually, there are bands like Cannibal Corpse. Yes, they're one of the most popular. Their lyrics are absolutely supposed to be brutal. It's fun. It's like when you watch a comedy that's stupid, like Step Brothers.
Yeah,
they're beating each other's nuts. That's hilarious.
Right.
It adds an element, and there is an element of macabre. And I think that people that listen to heavier, darker music are at peace with it. And I think they're some of the most respectful people you'll ever meet. They have, it's so funny how, and now frankly, I feel like vindicated, because you go to see a modern hairstylist, they look like they're a goth.
Yeah,
I don't care what you say.
That's true. That's true. Makeup artists. Yes.
The whole culture has infiltrated the mainstream so much that it's just pure vindication. It's like you can have made fun of it all you want, but its power and its allure is undeniable.
Yeah.
It's just so special. And it has been, as you were saying, or not as you were saying, but as I was thinking, it's been special in my life for a long time.
Well, I know it has been. Well, I know that you've loved it for years. I know in high school you were all about it. And I remember Battleado's class, you got him into Gwar.
Well, Gwar is a very popular theatrical. I mean, they've been around since early 80s, mid-early 80s.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. I mean,
I didn't know they were around that long.
It's theatrics. And metal is not necessarily that, but there are so many subgenres, and that is one. And, and you can't help but enjoy it. But it's also not commodified. I mean, now it's commodified, but back then, it was so not. It was pure artistry. Yeah. And it was pure like, I love this. I know I'm not going to make money on it. I know I'm not going to get the girl. And it's like, and that's okay, because this is so good and important to me and my friends.
For sure.
And it's maintained that. However, it now has the element of all of those things you couldn't do back then.
Right,
you can do now. And it's so accepted. And
What's the name of your band?
Our band is named Inner Vista. It, I guess, doesn't traditionally sound heavy. But,
no, it doesn't.
I mean, inside us, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
there
yeah.
is a vista that we can look at and perch upon, and you know, it goes more beyond
Yeah.
than just, you know, screaming or heavy or
Yeah.
anything like that.
How long have you guys been together for?
Um, Steve and Walter started playing together about 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years, let's say 4, and then I came into the fold about 3.
Okay.
And it's interesting to see music from the perspective of someone who's making it. It's much different because you get timelines are so different. Like, when's, how come that band didn't come out with that album that they talk? You know, you understand why that band didn't come out with that album, or why that band broke up.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many bands that have broken up, or someone's died, or whatever problems, and you just get it.
Yeah.
You understand it.
So do you have any like shows? Do you like play shows, or is this just for you guys?
We actually played one of the last shows in Connecticut before quarantine, before coronavirus happened.
Oh,
it was the lockdown was. It was the day of lockdown. It was the day of lockdown, like April 2020 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
2000, whatever it was, and it was fun. And you know, you want to have fun, but at the same time, you don't want to. I'm a perfectionist with sound. Like, I love sound design. I love making sure that my rig that I'm so anal care so much about.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it doesn't really matter, but like, that's your sound.
Yeah.
You know, there are bands that have.
Well, that's basically you're going. That's everything for music.
Yeah,
so.
Next to making a good song, that's ultimately everything.
I mean, but like it has to sound good.
It does. It does. So it's been a long time. I've played bass
for a long time,
since I was about 12.
Yeah,
I remember going into my den. My parents are watching TV. I'm like, I want to go to a show. You know, I said, and it's gonna happen a lot.
I can imagine the 12-year-old Dan saying that. It was almost
exactly like that. And they were like, sure, what the fuck ever, dude.
Whatever.
And lo and behold, I went to my first show with my father, and I went to a show almost every single month. I would say of every single year until coronavirus.
Wow.
I have and I've collected almost every single ticket I've ever.
God.
I have.
It must be
hundreds, and there are hundreds of shows that I've been to that didn't give you a bracelet, a local show, or this show, you know.
Cool.
So it's been fun. Yeah, it's fun to pick up a bass and you see something you idolize. I can only parallel like when girls see another girl do cool makeup or wear something cool, to have a hold of something you think is cool. It comes through in a different way, I think, to everybody, but it feels good. It feels good to pick up something and know that it's not just like, weirdly, like, I feel like it's like a dog collar. You see this thing all the time, and to have it and to use it for what its purpose is, sometimes it eludes people. You know, people are always trying to make music or play something, and I just love that I'm not a great anything, you know, but the fact that I love playing it makes all the difference.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I used to sing back in the day. I used to do classical singing in like high school, and I loved it. But was it cool? Like, no, but like I loved it.
That's okay.
But when I do sing like here and there now, when I have time.
Well, you probably feel like a great car singer, you know, because when people are in the car with you, your friends, you're like, I can fucking match this shit.
No, I don't. It's just by myself. It's just myself.
And
it's
it feels
just
good
for me. And that's why I stopped, because I realized that if I wanted to get ahead in that career, that I would literally need to sell myself. And I wasn't about that. I wanted it to be because I enjoyed it.
Well, that's because there's a quote from one of my favorite musicians. And I think this quote holds so true that it can't be, it's undeniable. He said, and this was Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. He said, if you expect anything out of music, you've expected too much. And so what that means is you cannot have any preconceived thoughts or notions with it. It's just is. That's why it's so artsy, you know, and that gets carried away a lot. But ultimately the essence is like, it's you and your friends having some beers, not having some beers, connecting, chilling, and making something that you can go, hell yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always come out the way you want because there's other people.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've tried to, with our band Inner Vista, we've tried to come at it with a very hard approach. Like, we need to do this, 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 and this. And then you find out over time, as long as you like each other, that you can ease up. You know, like I take control of like I love art, you know, so I try and take control of doing some of the art things. I was supposed to bring some stickers for you.
It's okay.
I forgot them.
We're connected now. It's fine.
I'm going to send them to your house. Yeah, I really wanted to because I love the design but that's
we're gonna pull up the design. We're gonna pull them up a little bit. I listened to them. I listened to some of your music before you came on.
That's okay.
If I play it now, it won't sound very good, but I'll probably play a clip.
That's okay. Play a clip. I like all the songs. I like the first song. The first song I was surprised. I think it's Ego Death. I was surprised at how much, as I listened to it after we recorded it, that it's like one of those songs where you're like, I play this isn't my favorite song to play, but then you listen to it and you're like, this is probably my favorite song to hear.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
energy.
Yeah.
And then as a band also, you have because the next music that we're coming out with, I don't want to say it doesn't sound anything like it, but it's different.
Of course,
I think it's better, and every musician says that. So,
you evolve over time. You don't usually stay the same.
Yeah.
No.
And we record at Silver Bullet Studios, which is in upstate Connecticut. Really, really respected studio. The guy that does a lot of the recording is in really popular bands from when we were younger, and is in a current popular heavy band. And they're unbelievable. And them as a producer, and you know, you can see the care that's taken into music and why so much money goes into it. So much, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
That's cool.
It's different to be in a
I'm
band.
going to put the logo up. I can't get it to
I always
maximize.
like tentacles and things like I also like off-shaped things. I always went into like the bathroom at the bar and looked at the stickers on the wall and went, which one would I see first? Which one would look cool?
Yeah.
And I thought the design that we came up with was like my eyes would go right to that. And of course that's just me,
but that's for you, and it's your band, so that's appropriate.
If anything,
well, you're a member of the band.
Correct. I came into
like,
it.
You know,
I'm always like, I don't think I'm great. You know, I do what I do.
Exactly. I feel the same way. No.
And so, I mean, our guitarist is insane. All of us do our own things really cool, and you just hope that people could enjoy it.
Yeah, it sounds very profesh. I'm just saying. They do a great job.
All bands, even like, I remember when I went to go see a band in New York City, I saw Lady Gaga on the bill playing at pianos in New York City when she was nobody.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like every single band, even if you're backed, need to get your bones.
Yeah.
You know, you need to play some shows. You need to, do whatever.
Yeah.
And shows are coming back.
Shows are coming back.
We're playing a show on the 13th of November.
13th of November, that's your next show?
Yeah, I think we're maybe even playing one before that too, but
cool.
That's one.
Maybe I'll go. My husband loves metal, so like he would enjoy it. But like I will definitely go for support.
Sure, and you don't.
If your fiance goes, I'll hang out with her.
Of course she's gonna go. Of course she's gonna go. And in Wallingford, it's Meriden.
Oh, okay.
Wallingford, it's Meriden.
Yeah, I know.
We practice in Meriden. The show is in Wallingford at
yeah.
Cherry Street, and Cherry Street's like one of those like cool. It's one of those like bar. You're gonna see the local music.
Yeah.
But it's not shitty.
It's cool.
Like good.
I like that.
And it like is good. And I like it. I like a good intimate scene. And yes, you want to be asked to go somewhere else, or yes, you want someone to be like, hey, you want to play the show over here. You want diversification.
Yeah.
And being in a band it's a very thankless thing. You just have to enjoy it for yourself, as we were saying before.
But I also think that like when you're younger, you're like, oh, I have to listen to the most popular band. I have to be part of that crowd. But when you get older, you're like, I don't need to listen to mainstream to like enjoy the music.
And it's funny because my mentality, specifically in high school, probably because you're a kid, is I want to listen to everything that's not popular.
Oh, okay.
That's a common theme in metal. And then as you get older, like I love The Weeknd. Like I love I'm so specific, but I love pop. If it's good pop, it's good pop. It's good music.
Cool.
I mean,
I'm a big trance person, so like trance, lounge,
there is
house.
such a deep cut of Coldplay's song called Talk, remixed by the Thin White Duke, and it is one of my favorite all-time lo-fi
It's a good
trance
remix
songs.
song. It's a good remix song.
You know the
I
song?
love that. I know that song. Yeah, I don't know that
But by the
exact version. If I heard it, maybe.
That
But that
Oh,
particular
brother, I
song
can't-
has had a couple good remakes of it. And that's the thing, like, I know I'm getting a little off topic now, but like back in the day, there were so many good mixes of things.
Yeah.
Like trance
remixes
songs.
were strong back in the day.
And like you try to find them now, like you literally live off of Spotify. Whatever Spotify has, that's what you listen to.
I
And
don't.
if you can't fucking find it, it's like my
So-
whole mind is like, where am I going to find it? Am I going to go on YouTube? I found a couple on YouTube. Where else am I going to fucking go now?
You know how when you jump on YouTube and sometimes you find that rare song?
Yes.
So I'm the guy, not necessarily that uploads. I'm the guy that hoards.
Oh, okay.
So I don't use Spotify. I'm one of
Okay.
the only people probably, all my friends make fun of me, and I see the value in it, but I currently still hunt the MP3 album,
Yeah.
download it, secure it on a hard drive.
Yeah, you have to. Because
And
how
that's-
else are you going to find it again? Like, honestly,
So
that's
I
the best way to do it.
So I have a ridiculous amount of, because I've been doing this for 15 years.
Right, yeah.
I have all of the old bands from around Connecticut.
So wait, do you still have your Napster files? Do you still have the...
So I started collecting. Actually, I went.
Do you have viruses embedded
No.
into your...
So the one no one remembers is everyone remembers that.
LimeWire.
Anyone remember
Kazaa.
Morpheus?
I remember Morpheus.
Morpheus was
Dude, I loved Morpheus, but then
Yeah.
it gave me such a horrible virus
I
one
know,
time.
I know.
I lost about 3 hard drives.
And let's be honest, it wasn't really Morpheus. What happened was, does everyone know you want to download 2001's Old Town Road, and so they infect it with a virus, and they were just kids having fun at the time because those viruses did nothing but ruin your computer. They didn't.
Absolutely.
Now viruses get your data, or
It's like
back
a
then it
different
was-
virus game.
Yeah, no. Back then, your virus just was really inconvenient. Now it could steal your identity and take your kids,
And it won't let you know that it's doing that. It's like, no, we'll actually make this run better for you.
There's
Where are you
also
going to go?
predatory companies like Credit Karma and all those things. They'll be
yeah.
yep, your identity can be compromised, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, try this out, buy this. And it's like, all right, dude, like, relax. I recently got off Facebook because for the first time in, how long has Facebook been around? Since we were
16? I think we
No.
were 16 when it came
It was
out.
when it came out, but when we first
Yeah.
used it, was our first to second year in college.
Because
So-
you couldn't have it unless you had a college email address.
So for the first
Yes.
time ever of having any social media accounts, I got the first, I didn't send something to somebody.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, you're gonna do that to me? Facebook's gone."
That's
and I honestly, I click the icon on my phone, and I see that it wants me to log in. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I deleted this," and I'm like, "I'm good," and
I'm good.
I have no problems.
No.
So
No.
it-
Facebook is
feels good.
weird. I still check it because that's how I keep in touch with certain friends.
They also did things that made it unfortunately useful, like connect your tickets to it if you go to a show, or
your Oculus. This is how your Oculus runs. Yeah. So then my stepson had to get had to get a Facebook account. Did I want him to be on Facebook? Not particularly, but he's on it now. But he doesn't go on it, but he has to be
predatory.
connected. Yeah,
That's predatory in my opinion.
No, I don't like that shit.
No.
If you're gonna create something, just fucking create it. I have an email address. Let me just use my email.
WD-40, spray it. We're all done. We'll put it back in the cabinet. We're good.
Full circle. Full circle WD-40.
But yeah,
Great product. Love it.
So companies are disgusting, but ultimately music has been fun.
Yeah.
And I think that I hope that music returns, and it is in some ways turning to I fetishize 90s, my favorite era.
I know.
I collect records too. That's another thing.
Oh, that's pre-90s though. That's even
Right,
older.
right,
But
but
I love the 90s as
you don't
well.
know how many times I say that to someone and they go, I got records in my basement. I got them. And it's like, no, you don't have the 1992 release of Morbid Angels, you don't have that.
You
So
don't
don't
have
talk to
that.
me about that, because that's what I collect. And it's
Yeah.
like a side, that actually floated me when I was not getting a lot of money.
Yeah,
Summers, no summer school.
Yeah.
So I started loving records and plays into the whole audio thing and my anal retentiveness. And you'll buy a record from 92. You see it on eBay. You know, it's cool to have it.
That's
it's
cool.
Old, you love it. You can listen to it because I have a nice system. Or it's a monetary thing.
Yeah.
You can sell it for and make your next week's rent,
True.
gas payment. You know, if you
Not that you want to, but I mean,
No.
it's there in case,
but
just in case.
I have sold it. You know, things come up. Dog needs some extra shots. You know, you gotta pull
You
out
gotta
a
do what you
record.
gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. Literally. Well, that's cool. I mean, at least you have something outside of work too, because that's also something that a lot of people don't have.
I
Like
know.
their work is their identity. They come home and they do whatever. But
know.
like, you do need something for yourself. Whether you have kids, whether you have a fiance, whether you have pets, you need something for yourself. And a lot of
Absolutely.
people get a little bit lost sometimes.
I think the connection between work and home has been infiltrated by corporate America.
Yeah.
I think this kind of work-life balance is being sold, but on the back end, you know, I found Reddit X amount of years ago because of Steve Riley, and I knew it was around. I didn't like the format.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, I didn't like that. Like,
I never
and-
got into it.
and then he was like, "Yo, dude, that's not like that anymore." Like, you know, and I was like, "Oh, it's
They
actually
upgraded.
it's smooth now. Now I can get into it." And that was like 5-6 years ago. And and since then, I find it to be a perfect. If you need something in reality, something that is created or talked about by a regular person that in the regular experience, you might find your answer there.
Yeah.
I wanted a weed whacker the other day. and
Okay.
because, you know, I have a yard now.
Yeah.
And sometimes a ride-on mower is not going to get your hedges, or not hedges, but not going to get your, you know, your lines nice.
No,
So-
you need that weed whacker.
So before you make a purchase or before you make a download or before you make a statement,
Yeah.
you know, do a little search.
Yeah.
And make sure you include maybe the tag Reddit, because you'll find somebody having such a nuanced experience that might mix yours and help you.
I'm a big researcher. My husband's more of, this is cheap, let's get it. I'm on Deal News right now. There's a deal on Deal News. We should get this one. But I'm more of like, well, did you research it? Did you look at the reviews? Did you look at this? And like, that's where
My dad, there are times for things that are inexpensive. I'm a proponent of that.
I'm sure if that's the best one, let's get it. That's fine.
And there are times that the cheaper version's better. Yeah?
That's fine. I'm all for it.
But my dad always said this: if I'm going to spend $10 more, $20 more, and I'm going to like that product more, and I'm going to use it more, and it's not going to break down more, I'm going to spend that $20 every single time.
Every time.
And that actually, that kind of thought process has helped me a lot in
not
buying,
just purchases.
not just purchases, but
In general.
like it also helps my philosophy out. Like so I'm a bass player. So I finally, when I got my big boy job, I was like, I'm gonna have some fun. So I definitely, you know, effed off for a few years and didn't save as much as I could.
Of course.
And I was like, I'm gonna buy fucking this, and I want this.
I want this bass.
My Fender P bass, American Elite with this preamp, and so you get it, and you realize that, you know, you've spent the money on something that you care about, and ultimately I dropped that thing, and I made a big old dent in it, a nice $1,500 bass. And I cried about it for a night. Not really cried, but I was depressed about it for a night. And then I remembered that thought. I remembered, pay $20 more. You know, what does that mean to me? How does that translate? If this bass can't withstand a fall, I don't want it.
Yeah, no.
If it's gonna be a piece of crap, if it's gonna break, and it didn't, you know, I just didn't. And what did I take out of that? I took out, like, I can't let something, even if I love it, take my whole world down, because it's just a bass. You know,
it's just a bass.
It's just
you can
a
get
bass.
another one.
You can get another one. You don't want to get another one.
But if it still worked, then
I mean, I'm talking, this is an insignificant thing. I'm anal. I'm like, so I used to, and I'll even say it on here, but like, so I don't like corporations, clearly.
Yeah.
So Amazon, they have a really easy return situation.
Oh, I know.
So there's
I know.
There's been one or two times, and I'm sure a few people understand this. Like, something comes bent. Let me get that.
Bent.
Let me get that thing.
Let me get that
So
new
there's
one.
been times when you have a bent record, and how am I gonna get a new case for this thing without buying it? Order one from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You say
It came bent. What am I gonna do?
What am I gonna do? But then again,
too.
they're making plenty. I don't know. I hope that anyone out here watching this does not sympathize with Jeff Bezos. I don't know. I don't know. And if you do, you know what? I guess let me go down.
Wait, I know we're getting off topic, and I know we have to wrap this up.
Sure.
But did you see that? It's not a rocket. Did you see the aircraft that went into space
that
the other
carried
day?
Jeff?
No, not
that carried
Jeff.
the Virgin guy.
The Virgin
guy.
guy. Okay.
I
So
did.
I guess he beat out Jeff.
He did.
Beat out Jeff.
And it's like
to
a
doing
thing.
It.
It's like a thing.
You saw it?
I did.
How do you feel about that? Can we talk about that?
What am I supposed to feel about
would
that?
you do it if you
yeah.
had the money?
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you do it?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't. Fuck that. No.
Why?
Because
This is in 1983 when that thing blew up with all the teachers.
No, it's not about that. It's just like I don't need to. Like I don't. That's like I also don't think I would go skydiving either because
I thought about that one a lot recently too.
I have anxiety things, but like, is that the way I want to die?
But is it?
No.
But it's the same with like a dog. like I never wanted a dog, and it's like, do I really want a dog? No.
Yeah, but that's a little different than jumping out of a plane, your parachute not
man.
opening.
You're committing your life to something so hard. Like
You're committing the next 10 to 15 years to this thing. This is for you could die forever.
Okay, so I jump out of a plane, I break my leg really bad. That's a 15-year heal.
Listen,
but yes,
I know about that. C-sections. I don't think this is ever going to heal, but like,
I beg to differ. I've heard different stuff, but you know what? Everybody's body's different. Take your vitamins.
Yes.
What do you feel about intermittent fasting? It's completely switched topics.
I know. I used to live my life by that before I knew about it, and that's when I looked my best. So that's why I think that it works, because I never used to eat breakfast. I used to just eat lunch because I was just working all the time. I always had jobs. I was always working.
Yeah.
And I fucking looked great. And I didn't need to work at it. And now that I eat breakfast and I do everything that I need to do, my body's like, no, we're just going to keep you. We need the padding. We need the...
Our parents are stupid in a lot of ways. The one thing that I like about some of them is their simplicity. You know what my dad always says? He's never had a problem with this, but he kind of has a good point. He goes, you want to lose weight? Don't eat.
Don't eat.
Don't eat.
That's it.
And it sounds so... I don't know if myopic's the right word, but like it's so just like pigeonholed.
Yeah, it's too simple.
But
yeah.
unfortunately, when you get to such a simple statement, you look at it and you really start to expand it to your understanding, and you start to go, okay, our bodies really grew up not really eating like we do in 21st century.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a absolute victim of loving a Diet Coke with a meal, with loving my. I mean, I am a savory over sweet any day. Even though when it comes to going to bed, I need a little something. I need a little something. Give me. I'm
a pickles person.
I pickled
chips.
the other day. We're pickle people now.
Oh,
We're pickle people now.
Wait, do you do garlic pickles? Because like those are my favorite.
So
the Clausen Hearty garlic.
That's the jam. This was a whole mixture. I wanted carrots in there. I wanted onion.
Okay.
I wanted jalapenos.
Okay.
And I wanted.
So you want spicy ones.
And I wanted radishes.
Okay.
But it wasn't spicy.
No, not with
once
the
it's pickled,
jalapenos.
it diminishes the Kelvin's the wrong word. It diminishes the Scoville units.
Okay.
The Scoville.
Okay.
Which is the Scoville.
Hey, the Scoville. That's like
heat.
The heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good to know.
So
are they good? Do you love them?
Yo, I've been opening that thing up. Like, I'm making a sandwich today because I really don't feel like cooking this week because we're moving and stuff like that. I'm like, where's my pickle jar? Like, I want to get those pickled onions out of there, and it gives a good bite. I think I Pickling is actually way more simple than you think. It's just a little bit of tang, a little bit of salt, tiny bit of sugar, and you're good. But I went full flavor. I went full flavor.
I'm literally throwing everything in this one jar.
But it was good. It was fun.
I hear that if you put eggs into that mix after you're done with the pickles, they're like the bomb.
You ever
I
seen the
haven't
movie The
done
Ladies'
it yet.
Man?
No.
Oh my god.
No, I haven't.
It's like an SNL.
I'm very skeptical of pickled eggs. I haven't had one yet in my life.
What about pickled pig's feet?
No, I ate chicken feet at the dim sum place, and I think that's like as far as I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna do tripe.
Frog's legs.
I mean, I'll try them. I don't mind trying them.
So I went to not Bama, going there for a few months for a show. Went to maybe it was Louisiana, right? They have the beignets there and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So we went there.
New Orleans. I was there. I went there before you.
It was cool. I loved it. I had a great time.
Nolans.
Nolans. Brittany had a business trip. Me and her just split the fare for me.
Hell yeah.
And we went down there. I had a great time. When she was working, I took an Uber like across the river to like a Korean place because they have great Asian food down there.
Really?
I love Asian food.
Oh my God. I love Asian food. I wouldn't think that would be an Asian food.
Like, I sat there at this restaurant, nice and early. No one was there. And I ordered like, I don't say 7, but like 3 or 4 things. Garlic frog's legs.
Ooh.
Like, and I've never had a more, it was unreal. It was unreal.
That's cool.
It was cool.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up now because we've been talking for a while.
I know.
We could go on for a while because we're just catching up on life in general.
I know.
But,
I mean, obviously we can go down a million paths.
I'm really proud of you for your journey through life. I know that's also very corny, but like,
whatever.
Congratulations on all of your achievements.
Thank you.
I think that being a teacher is an honorable job. I know people complain about the pay or whatever, but like you are a vital piece of children and you're a vital piece of future adults. So like, you know,
it's important.
You're very important. I wish you all the best of luck with your band. I will come to one of your shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's never like I never want to sell it like as a, yo guys, listen to my band.
Tell to this one.
Give me my likes. Give me my likes. Tell your friends. Because I'm going to tell you what right now. Never do that.
Yeah.
Because if it ain't good, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
And even when it is good and it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means don't be looking to feast for people loving it. You should just love it and have fun with it.
Absolutely.
And so I hope that if anyone wants to come to a show, if anyone wants to listen to the music, go for it because we do take care of it. And it's the number one thing I'll say to leave it off with is it's definitely different. It's definitely different metal.
Cool.
Definitely different heavy stuff.
I've listened to it. It's pretty good. I like the music.
Maybe you'll play it out. Maybe you'll play it out.
Maybe that will be my ending music for
As
today.
the music
ends,
you'll
hear... Is that a soft
hear...
request?
You hear the... Yeah, why not? Why not?
I'll do it. I don't mind.
All right.
If you are interested in listening to Dan's band, it's at Inner Vista Band on Instagram. And they are also on Spotify, Inner Vista. Look them up. If you have any questions for Dan, send me a message. I'll point you in the right direction. I'll help out as much as I can.
We're all into helping. I think that's a common theme with us.
Definitely.
People we know.
I'm definitely not making any money off this podcast. This is just for me.
Dude, just like with music. Just like with music.
I didn't want to talk about it, but like literally, like this is just for me and all of you guys who I have on. So
that's why I've been drawn to it so much, is because it seems like it's for our little unique group. And like, and I gotta say on the side, like there's some people that I gotta give shout outs to before you end this. Like Scopoletti's been doing great with his comedy.
He's coming on soon. Is
he?
Yes, I haven't got a date yet, but
he's coming on. If he's good, I want to do one with him. Or he probably wants to do one with Bo, but like his companion. But
I'm very excited.
I would love to come back and do a double with somebody. Like for sure, either me and Jen. Like that would be fun. Have you done a double yet?
No, I haven't done a double yet.
Let's commit to like let me be your first double.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely into you coming back with anyone who you want. I'm a fan of the doubles. I'll get the equipment. I can do this.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, you got a good space. I mean, it's a gorgeous little space. It's comfy.
Thank you.
You did it right.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you again for having me on. And I can obviously, I love knowing that like people in our group in our grade can talk like regular people.
Yeah, we're still good people.
Lives.
We're still good people.
We're the best people.
We're the best.
We're the best people. We're the best.
Thank you. I hope everything works out for you, and I'm definitely going to keep in touch with you.
You're the best.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching. You're the best.